Howdy. In this video, you can watch me make my design into a stunning gift for my lovely wife. Now go on and get comfy, and away we go.
Got my workshop running hot tonight. Cherry wood and steam look just right. She's gonna love what I'm making here. Bending curves for the woman I hold dear. Heat it up, let it bend my way. Every twist is something I wanna say. Wood and fire, hands and time, building love in every line. I'm twisting cherry in the steam, making some machine never seen. The end is bottles, there's a dance. She's my reason, my romance. Round and round, I will intertwine. Every turn's got her on my mind. This train's gonna hold more than a drink. It's holding everything we are, I think. Sweating sawdust on my hands, working late on weekend plans. Double helix wrapped her tight, gonna surprise her Friday night. Heat it up, watch it change its shape, like the way she changed my face. Would remember where it's been, just like I remember falling in. I'm twisting cherry in the steam, making something she ain't never seen. The bottles, legs that dance. She's my reason, my romance. Round and round like a red twine. Every turn's got her on my mind. This tray's gonna hold more than a drink. It's holding everything we are, I think. They say love's in the details, in the hours and the sway. And every curve I'm bending here says I ain't done loving yet. I'm twisting cherry in the steam, like something she never seen. The end is bottles, legs that dance. She's my reason, my romance. Round and round like a red twine. Every turn's got her on my mind. This tray's gonna hold more than a drink. It's holding us. Twisted cherry, she's the reason that I carry on.
How you doing? My name's Chris. I'm a custom woodworker, and this is a project I've made for my wife. I designed it and came up with it one day when after she took my TV tray table, I needed to make her one that was nicer than the one that she took from me, so I can have that one back. And this is it. This is what I came up with. I hope you liked it. This is all for you, Jane. I love you. Spend some wood.
In the workshop, heat is rising, cherry bends beneath my hands. Every curve I'm calculating, force, intention, stress and span. A temperature at 201, physics working on overtime. Cellulose is breaking down, molecules fall into line. Wood and water, steam and fire, building something strong. Yeah, bending wood to last through time. Double helix, twist and climb. Every angle, every turn, pressure, heat, lessons learned. This flame I built with sweat and science holds more than weight. It holds defiance against the entropy and rust. DNA, the love and trust. Lamination under pressure, 8 strips become the one. Hydrogen bonds will form and work ain't over till it's done. Test the load, check the grain. Every joint's a calculation, engineering poetry. Wood and water, steam and fire, building something strong, yeah. Bending wood to last through time, double helix, twisted climb. Every angle, every turn, pressure, heat, and lessons learned. This frame I built with sweat and science, holds more than weight. It holds defiance against the entropy and rust. DNA, love and trust. Two strings spiraling together, stronger than they'd be alone. Like the base of hell forever, in the marrow, in the bone. Bending wood to last through time, double helix, twisted climb. Every angle, every turn, pressure, heat, lessons learned. This flame I built with sweat and science, holds more than weight. It holds defiance against the entropy and rust. DNA of love and trust. Chop in the dust. DNA of love and trust. In the garage with my hands on cherry wood, the steam box hissing like it should. Heat rises up, soaks through the crane, makes it soft enough to take the pain. We fought last night, voices getting hot, said things we meant and things we're not. But pressure breaks you down to find what's underneath, what's left behind. Steaming bad, that's how it goes. Under fire, that's when you know. Twist together, shaping in like the air. We steaming bad. Steaming bad. Double helix legs, they spiral around. What was rigid finds its common ground. She's got a mind that cuts through steel, knows the science of what's real. This tray ain't perfect, got my fingerprints. Every curve here makes some sense. When the heat comes, when we break, we get molded for each other's sake. Steaming bad, that's how it goes. On the fire, that's when you know. Twist together, shaping men like the air. Steaming bad. Steaming bad. She said her books on what I made, every spiral, every grade. Stronger now than straight and proud. Heat and pressure we figured out. Steaming bad, that's how it goes. Under fire, that's when you know. Twist together, shaping men like the air. We steaming bad. We steaming bad. In the garage with my hands on cherry wood, making something built to last for good. I work with my hands in sawdust and grain. You work with your mind in ways I can't explain. I'm bending this wood in the heat and the steam. You're solving the puzzles that live in between. I don't have the words you carry so well, but I know how to build what my heart needs to tell. I'm shaping your code into something I can hold. The double helix rise in every curve I fold. My rough hands and your brilliant soul. This is how I love you whole. The blueprint of you. The blueprint of you. I watch you think and I'm lost in the way. Your beautiful mind that moves through the day. So I take what I know, let the wood twist and turn, making visible proof of the fire I burn. Speaking theories I barely understand, but love doesn't need to be planned. I'm shaping your code into something I can hold. The double helix rise in every curve I fold. My rough hands and your brilliant soul. This is how I love you whole. The blueprint of you. The blueprint of you. Every strand, every spiral, every piece is my prayer that you see what you mean to me, what you mean to me. I'm shaping your core to something I can hold. The double helix rising in every curve I fold. My rough hands and your brilliant soul. This is how I love you whole. The blueprint of you. The blueprint of you. The blueprint of you.
So as you saw me there, I was trying to figure out how to hold this work piece down to my workbench. There's no two parallel sides that run for a long distance, so you have to get creative when you're trying to clamp stuff like this. Those wooden clamps with the all thread through them, those things are awesome. Like I showed you, I was working off of that mold, but that mold was too wiggly still, so I had to change it up and put it down here on the workbench, and now it's being held firmly. I'm able to work on it and get a lot done, and then just rotate it around and find another position for it to work on the other parts that I wasn't able to work on before, as it's clamped down here, and it only gives you access in this position to work on so much of an area, so I had to end up flipping around. But my workbench is really firm. I can kick it and it's not going to wiggle. When I see other makers working on stuff on a workbench and it's wiggling, this gets very depressing to me, and I can't understand how they can work on something that isn't held firmly in place. Here you see 3 points of contact on this because this is a workpiece that doesn't have two parallel sides that run for a good distance that you can fit in the clamp or a vise easily. So you have to get creative and think outside the box when you're working on clamp and stuff like this. So here, there's 3 points of contact from these half cylinders I cut in half that are placed in the vise there, and applying 3 points of contact, and you can see this thing is being held in space, and it's doing great. I was able to do some sanding and working on it in this position, and it worked out. And in a minute you'll see another position on the other workbench that I was able to get the workpiece up off the workbench and hold it better as well. So another method of clamping your workpiece firmly is clamping it to a clamp that's being held firmly. So here you can see I clamped the clamp to my workbench, and then I'm clamping the workpiece to the clamp, and that ended up working out really well too. I was able to get the workpiece up off the workbench and get those other areas that I wasn't able to get to before when it was being held down onto the workbench. Now it's secured and held firmly in place. You can see there with that little wiggle, it's not moving in at all. I did all the milling for the top and the bottom off camera. It's just squaring up boards and gluing them together. It's not that exciting. But this is just me trimming up the ends. And now back to the fun stuff, shaping the legs of DNA. So the front of the board, or the front of the leg, the back of the leg needed a flat spot across the top in order for that board to sit squarely on it. And then this is me getting distracted and looking at one of the shavings. It looked like a little curlicue pigtail, and I thought that was kind of interesting that one of the shavings off of the piece looks like the piece. So not every day that's going to happen, is it? So in order to strengthen it up, I was thinking to put wood dowels in there, but that, like I was thinking, is going to be way too much work of taking it apart and scribing it. And as I am up for the challenge, I figured that the brass rods are going to be a lot more of an elegant touch, and definitely a lot easier and quicker, seeing as I can just drill a hole straight through as long as I have it nice and lined up straight and take my time. I did end up stretching these out just 1.6 inches to keep them uniform from top to bottom. That's just what the kind of ratio I was able to divide up in between with what rods I had and what space I had. Just calculated it out, used some math and science, gotta love it, right? So here I'm showing you one of the big advantages of this in particular type of workbench, the Moravian workbench. You can pull a tool tray off if you need to in a pinch for just whatever reason, whether you're trying to clamp something down or you need to get closer to your workpiece. So it's one big advantage of this, but I'm certain that it's not really a big determiner on whether you're going to make this in particular workbench or not. Just thinking of what are the many capabilities. Here you see me using a belt sander because I want the surface to end up pretty much dead flat all the way across. I could use an orbital sander if I didn't want it to be flat across, but I want it to be flat all the way across, so that's why I use the belt sander. This next little bit of time here, I'm going to show you the prep and steps that I go through to get this thing locked down and worked on. That's why I'm setting this up. Let me answer you the question of how long did it take this. There's two answers to that. The short answer is it'll probably take me about 3 weeks to put this all together professionally, making sure there's enough curing time and drying time for the wood after it's steam bent and for the epoxy to cure all that. How long did it take me to make this project? It's taken me close to a year. I was waiting on stuff for filming and was waiting on everything else. There's plenty of things that'll stop you from doing something, but it's more important just to keep pushing through. But there are some times that when you wait, things can be better, and I think it was better that I waited on some things because this video ended up being a little bit better in my opinion. I think getting the overhead crane set up and getting some of these shots is, I think, a lot more helpful to show you what I'm doing here. Alright, for the little nubbin to stick out, I want 3 washers on it. so that way I can cut it easier. I don't have to pull it out and try to make sure I'm gonna cut it right. I can just leave it in place and cut it, and should be right enough. So away we go. So there might be some of you out there that might look in this and see something that looks kind of familiar, and it to me, it kind of is reminiscent of the mysterious spiral staircase of the Loretto Chapel in Santa Fe, New Mexico. Talked a long time ago on a YouTube video with somebody about, hey, I'm a woodworker, and you know, this is just simple 101 woodworking. It's really easy. It's nothing like a miracle, and yet people would still like, oh yes, it's a mysterious miracle that this happened, and yet you can clearly see that it's not a miracle if it's something that can be replicated. And what I have right in front of you is basically a smaller scaled version of this mysterious staircase. Like, kind of the point I want to make is that it's not that it's that like inconceivable that that's going to work out. Like, there doesn't need to be a center column for a staircase to work out. Oh, yeah, you see a lot of staircases with center columns, but that doesn't necessarily mean that there has to be one. There's plenty of custom staircases in high-end homes that I'm sure a lot of people don't see to know the examples of, but there's plenty of staircases that don't have any center column. So it's just something that, like, it's silly that you, just because you see it on a couple staircases, you have to like paint the whole broad picture all across the board about all staircases. This is more of a miracle than that. This doesn't actually have anything attached at the top. The staircase is attached to the top. That gives it that rigid structure that's not going to fall over, and obviously it's wood, it's not going to fall over if you're attaching it at the base and at the top. I don't understand why people can't like kind of figure that out. And yeah, bending wood isn't out of the ordinary or uncommon. You get thin pieces of wood, you can bend it, and yeah, wood's strong. We build boats that go across the ocean, and yet those aren't considered to be miracles. And there's a staircase that, you know, has a story behind it maybe, and the story is another thing to easily debunk, but I can tell you right now, it's you debunk one part of the story, the whole thing is just a mess to try to even prop up. But yeah, definitely not a mysterious miracle when something I can make with my own hands that's right in front of you right there is basically the same kind of thing but a scaled down version. And what I was talking about, how mine's more of a miracle, is that nothing is attached to the top. The wood itself is supporting the table tray at the top, and it can support weight, as you'll see later in the video. But the whole point of this little rant talk that I'm trying to get out is that it's not a miracle. Sorry folks, it's not.
Shop in the back where I built things by hand. Cherry wood and patience, you wouldn't understand how the heat could change its rage into something new. Same way all our arguments something stronger, me and you. When the pressure's rising, we're both about to break. That's when love does its work for both our sakes. We're steaming cherry, baby, twisted tight. All that fire and all those fights, loosening up when used to be so straight. Now we're wound together, intertwined like fate, like a double heel, spinning round and round. When the heat came on, we didn't hit the ground. We just curved into each other, grew back strong. Steaming cherry, that's where we belong. Yeah, harsh words softened up our edges just enough to wrap.
So if you don't know, this tool that I'm using a lot is called a spoke shave. It's a general woodworking tool that is meant to just shave off just a small layer, and gives you a lot of versatility on where and what material and how much you want to take off with the depth of the blade and how hard you make the cut. So yeah, lots of versatility in that tool. Chisel here, switched up a little bit to use a different tool and take down the material a bit faster. The hand saw was going to be a little bit more of a pain in the keister to get this part, so I figured I'd just bust out the chisel and get it done real quick. And it didn't take too long, so just cranked it out, got her done. One of the things you might be telling yourself is, oh, I'll never be able to do all that. And if you have that mentality, then you're correct. You won't be able to do what I do. But if you say, I can do that, and you work towards whatever you need to do to get to that step of doing it, then you will be able to do it. I guarantee it. So many people stop themselves just because they don't want to challenge themselves, or they don't want to get out of their comfort zone a little bit. And I'm telling you right now, you get out of your comfort zone and you try something different, you're going to enjoy the outcome, and you're going to surprise yourself, and you're going to find out that, oh my gosh, I've been holding myself back this whole time, and I can really go forward and do a lot better and do a lot more if I just put my mind to it and tell myself I can do it. Another thing I hear a lot on YouTube is that, oh, everything's been done before and there's nothing new to create. There's no new ideas or new designs. And guess what? There is. This is something new. I mean, it's kind of a remake on something that's old and ancient, but I haven't seen a wooden DNA structured TV tray table out there. Have you? Here I am struggling again, so I got to get this set up going to where I got that overhead clamp helping hold the workpiece firmly, as it's very important to make sure your workpiece is held firmly so it's easier to work on and more enjoyable to work on. There's still a little wiggle in there, but it's quite a precarious situation to be that far out in space away from something ultra firm to be able to hold it, but it's working out. I was able to get that done and move on to the next step. And that next step is the lower support rods that need to be in place to help take out some of the wiggle. The wood straws, if you understand, or the grain is sideways on an angle, and that doesn't provide the most support structurally, so the wood actually flexes the most in that direction. Definitely needed to add some extra support here. That's why I'm drilling in these 3 brass rods in the bottom. Not for aesthetics, it's simply for function. So hopefully they kind of looked aesthetical. I put in 3, I could have maybe put in more, but I figured 3 is a good number. Odd numbers are better. If you're ever designing something, make it look pretty, consider symmetry, but also uneven numbers. 1, 3, 5, for some reason just looks better symmetrically or visually. These support rods definitely serve their purpose. The before and after on the amount of wiggle was very noticeable. One thing that I continually push myself on is continual education. I know that is typically something you only see in the doctor's realm or in a few other places, that they have to actually continually educate themselves to work in their profession, but I think in life you just have to continually educate yourself. There's so much to learn out there, and you can go from not knowing much to knowing a heck of a lot if you just open your eyes and start learning about stuff. From the start of the COVID lockdown to now, I was just a woodworker, but now I understand videography, video editing, lighting, cinematography, all kinds of other stuff that have to deal with production and making videos and stuff, and my knowledge has increased dramatically just because I have this mentality that I have to continually educate myself. One of the biggest things to me is knowledge is power. The more knowledge you have, the more powerful you can become. So if you are taking anything away from this, is just continually educate yourself, because that knowledge is power, and it's going to help you out so much if you can just keep pushing yourself out of the comfort zone and trying something different. Right here, I am showing you that the playing cards against the saw blade is a much better choice than just a second ago when you saw that I was just cutting the brass rods without the playing cards. The playing cards definitely provide a lot more protection for the wood. It's a thicker material, so it's not being bit into by the teeth of the saw blade. So back to fitting that top board onto the top of the leg here. I had to get a nice flat surface from the front to the back and pulled out the jointer plane for that. But enough of me yakking, let's get old music back up in here.
Yo, I'm in the garage at midnight. Sawdust on my Tim's, steam box hissing like a dragon. Cherry wood getting bent to my whims. Not good with words, baby, but my hands speak fluent. Double helix twisted perfect, every angle congruent. They say love is patient, mine's obsessive and exact. Measuring twice, cutting once, no room for abstract. Head and pressure molding curves like I'm molding nuts. Wood grain tight as our bond, intricate, no fuss. She asked what I'm building, I said proof I ain't even. CB tray shaped like our strands, interwoven and weaving. Other dudes buy flowers, the dye in a week. I'm bending hardwood at 200 degrees, technique unique. Steam bent, every inch, every curve I'm in. Blood, sweat, wood shavings, this is how my love's spent. Can't say it right, so I build it tight. Hands over words, working through the night. Clamp squeezing slow, patience is a virtue I learned. Cherry wood dark as my thoughts when her back's turned. Thinking about forever while I'm sanding down the grain. Two spirals wrapped together, pleasure mixed with pain. She thinks I'm crazy, maybe she's right though. Perfecting every joint while the radio plays some primo. This ain't no IKEA assembly, this is scripture. Every dovetail lock represents opera picture. DNA don't lie, neither does wanted oil finish. Started this at sundown, won't stop till I'm finished. My therapy's a route of my confessions in the lathe. If I can't speak love right, I'll carve it, engrave. Steam bent, every inch, every curve I'm in. Blood, sweat, wood shavings, this is how my love's spent. Can't say it right, so I build it tight. Hands over words, working through the night. They say actions louder, so I'm screaming through song. She the addion to my timeline. Chemical robots, about to the bombs, holding us, I'm holding this. Plans for the raw material, it's up and understood. Final sanded, 220 grit, smooth as my intentions. This double helix TV tray deserves an honorable mention. She'll cry when she sees it, I'll just nod and look away. Cause building up perfection is the only prayer I pray. Wax on, buff it out, seal it for eternity. My hands know more about devotion than my words could ever be. Bringing in inside, send it down by a chair. She'll know exactly what it means, I'm always there.
DNA, baby. Woo! That's good stuff, man. That's a good feeling to get to this point. Just a little bit more cleanup, and then I'm gonna slap some finish on it. Oh. And how wiggly. I mean, how much deflection is really, and with how much weight? I got a weight. I can put like an actual specific weight so you can understand like how much force this is gonna take where. Let's see how the 5 and the 7 pounds work with how much deflection. Let's get you zoomed in here. All right, 5 pounds. Ready? Commencing 3, 2, 1. All right. I'm gonna count on the way back up. 1, 2, 3, almost 4, 4/16. 1, 2, 3, 4/16. Ready? 5 pounds. That's a little bit of a deflection, but come on, this is some thin ass wood. I'm sure it can take it. All right, 7.5 pounds test. Let me see if, let's see if it can sit on here. It can't sit on the edge just like the last one did. All right, so I'm gonna count the way up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So basically 6/8 deflection.
In the workshop with the sawdust swirling, steam rising like a prayer I'm curling, maple strips in the kettle singing, heat these fibers springing. I'm humming something she used to love, while the wood starts bending, push and shove. Twist and turn, let the grain surrender. Hot and pliable, patient and tender. Round the jig in a spiral climbing. Every curve's got perfect timing. I'm making miracles out of timber, spinning double helix, watch it shift. For the woman who deserves a table that defies what wood was labor capable. Steam and song and steady hands, turning ordinary into something grand. She needed something for her tea. I said, I'll build you sacred geometry. The vapors dancing, woods compliant, following the foam like it's testifying. Each is leg a twisted celebration, love expressed through patient fabrication. Coiled and wind, let the heat work through it. Pressure, temperature, and how you do it. Round and round in helical motion, craft and chemistry and pure devotion. I'm making miracles out of timber, spinning double helix, watch it shimmer. For the woman who deserves a table that defies what wood was labor capable. Steam and song and steady hands, turning ordinary into something grand. Who knew that water fire time could make these rigid planks unwind? Who knew that I could twist and bend, create secretion for my lover best friend? I'm making miracles out of tin